Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today, marijuana and why are our kids not doing as well as they should be doing? Marlene Lockard has the rundown.
Today, we're going to hear from the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Assemblyman Bernie Anderson, followed by Dr. Keith Rheault, Superintendent, State Department of Education. There's a whole lot of smoking going on in the legislature, from tobacco to marijuana.
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Liz MacMenamin, Connie McMullen, and Dick Gammick. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
This is one of Sierra Power's main generating plants. It's right next door to the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center. These plants provide all the clean, reliable power that businesses need. TRI has 3 independent power generation facilities on site. For sensitive manufacturing companies and high-tech firms, this benefit is invaluable. Welcome to the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
For more than a decade, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has been helping the community embrace conservation as a way of life. That includes replacing more than 50 million square feet of grass with water-smart landscaping. During the worst drought on record, watering restrictions and tough landscaping codes have reduced the community's water use by billions of gallons, even as thousands of new residents were moving into Nevada. That's smart water management, and that's our promise to Nevada.
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us cleaner and safer than ever before. To learn more about America's natural resources, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
I tell you, John, this industry has really changed.
Tell me about it.
You seemed to do pretty well last year. What's your secret?
No secrets. Although I'll tell you something. The smartest thing I did was sign up with Pro Group Management.
Really? Yeah, they do workers' comp, right?
Yeah, their services are great. And get this, they saved me 30%. I've heard they saved others 50%.
That works for me.
Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
We are joined by the chairman of Assembly Judiciary, Bernie Anderson. Welcome to the program, Bernie.
Morning, Sam.
You're also on growth and infrastructure. Where are we with this property tax issue? Why is it that we're this far into the session? Everybody knew that this was going to be a big debate, and we still have no answers.
Well, the difficulty, of course, on the property tax issue is the impact upon local governments and county governments. In trying to simplify the tax structure. So those kind of discussions are very, very difficult. Taxes are never simple. I mean, it's just by their very nature. So that's what we're trying to find, the impact and trying to simplify the system.
Do you think we're going to hit the target at the end of March?
Well, it's a real big issue, and I think that we need to do it now and in this session. The emphasis is there, but we have money. And therefore, the emphasis from the legislative point of view is if we don't do it now, if we wait 2 years and put it off, I'm fearful that we won't have the courage to do it.
What about the freeze? Isn't that maybe an appropriate step to freeze and then during the interim have the time to do it right?
And I think that's a very, very strong argument. It would be good for the assessor and the predictability of dollars. But the impact in the school districts, the impact on local government again, and on county governments would be harmful. But more importantly, 2 years from now, will we have a surplus to generate that kind of feeling of problem solution in the legislative body, and I don't think so.
You don't think there'll be a surplus?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, it's the give and take of Nevada economy based upon
But
gaming
you look
revenue.
at what's happening just in Las Vegas with the Wynn Resort opening up
Right.
in just a couple of months here. The amount of new casino growth in Southern Nevada is huge. The amount of condominium projects is huge. And here in Northern Nevada, the growth is explosive as well. Do you really think that sales taxes and gaming taxes aren't going to shoot ahead of the projections?
There are some economic indicators that may indicate, particularly to sales events, those other than gaming revenue, that economy may not be as strong as we were once hoping. But I'm not an economist, I'm a legislator, so I hope that we can solve the problem now. And of course, as a member of the Assembly, we're a 2-year body as compared to a senator who's 4 years. We'd rather solve the problem now rather than later.
To switch topics just a bit, this week you're going to hear a boatload of initiative petitions in your committee.
Yes.
2 that are coming up are on the smoking, no smoking ban. One, I understand, is supported by the Lung Association and the anti-smoking group, and the other is really generated from the bartenders and barkeeps here in the state of Nevada.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen with those 2 petitions?
Well, of course, Marlene, as you well know, the initiative process comes from the people as compared to the legislative process where we debate the issue and come up with the actual wording and then pass it to the governor for his signature in the other house. In this case, we either accept it or reject it. If we accept it, then of course the governor's opportunity to sign it. If we reject one of them, that one would go to the people, and the other one would then go to the governor. And now we end up with a problem in terms of determining which has priority. So in reality, I think that we're going to have to have the hearing, try to bring out the issues so that we can focus that, what both initiatives do in terms of the impact on the public. I can't predict what the committee of 15 the members that I'm a part of will do with the bill, but we need to make sure that the hearing is taking place. So those first 2, I think, are very, very important for us. To me, one of the central issues in the smoking, regardless of which of these 2 petitions is this a statewide legislative process or is it a local governmental control issue so that the health department of Washoe County or Clark County wants to do one thing as compared to other counties. So
doesn't that become, though, a nightmare?
Well, that has always been my contention, and that's the reason why I've always tried to hold it as a statewide issue so there's a uniform program, every county doing the exact same thing. And of course, that leaves us to other kinds of problems. Some counties would like to be very, very stringent. Others, of course, as we know from other things that happen in the state of Nevada, would allow everything to take place. So it's a real difficult issue.
Let's talk about the marijuana petition. That's coming up this week too, correct?
Right.
Is that going to go anywhere?
The Speaker has indicated very, very sternly in his opening statement when we selected him as Speaker that this was not. Yes, we will be hearing a fair presentation on the marijuana issue. The voters have spoken to this issue before. I'm of a mind to let the voters speak to it again.
So you're supporting letting it out of committee and wind its way through the process then?
Actually, by the committee not taking a position, that puts it in front of the public. So it's only when we take a position that we can only vote yes on it, which would send it to the Senate and then on to the governor. By not taking a position in the 40 days, it automatically goes to the public, and they've already spoken very, very clearly on the issue.
But if you do take a position on it and it goes to the Senate and out of the Senate to the governor, doesn't that accelerate the process?
That would put it in place, absolutely.
And we are out of time. Bernie Anderson, always a pleasure to have you here. Come back soon. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this time out.
For a videotape copy of any Nevada Newsmakers program, call 775-857-2244. The tapes are $20 each, including shipping.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Pepper Mill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Pepper Mill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's Premier Steakhouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you dining?
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
We welcome to the program Dr. Keith Rheault. He is the Superintendent of Public Instruction for the state of Nevada. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming in. In a story in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Senator Bill Washoe, the father of Nevada's Academic Standards Program, was very disappointed with the results of the program. Despite 8 years of statewide academic curricula, we still aren't making the grade. How do you respond to him?
I think, I responded to him that we are making progress. When you consider the fact that in 1994, 70% of our students were white, right this year, I think the minority is going to be white. When you have that mix of student populations coming into the state that are mostly non-English speaking, we've had 20% increases over the last 10 years, and our scores have stayed the same. So I think when you look at the balance of things, we've actually made progress, but it doesn't show up in the statistics.
You know, there was much ado about the seniors not being able to pass the math test and graduate. So the response was to lower and change the standards for the test. Aren't we really just doing a major disservice to our kids by doing that?
I think at the time they lowered them in 2001, it was really, did they have an opportunity to learn all the standards? We just adopted them in 1999, and it takes 4 years. He should start as freshmen to seniors. And I think at the time there was some question in the legislature, did we give them all the opportunity to learn the math? I think the result was they said no, so we went back, dropped the cut score a bit, and we're ratcheting it back up. Next year we'll be back to where we were, and we've showed good progress. We've ratcheted up the cut score twice, and the percentage of students passing the math has increased each year.
As of right now, how many schools has your department judged to be falling behind on No Child Left Behind?
Well, right, this past year there were 122, and that meant we're on a watch list. The first year you don't get sanctioned, and the second year there's 122 that have not met adequate yearly progress.
And that's out of how many?
That's out of 562 schools.
So somewhere around 20%.
About 20%. We have 99 on the watch list who, if they don't make progress this year when we test this spring, could be on that same list. And it takes 2 years to get off, so we don't expect a lot of the 122 there. I think there were 12 of the schools that are eligible to get off the list.
So that would be around 35%.
We could be up around 35-40%. And we see that number growing each year. This year we're going to add 3 new tests, and for each test you have that many more opportunities to get on the list.
So how do you respond to it?
I think part of the problem is the inflexibility of the No Child Left Behind Act getting on the list. A good example is Douglas County High School. They met all the testing requirements as far as achievement in English and math, but they tested one special ed student less than they should have. They've got to test 95% of each ethnic group. One more student would have kept them on the list, so they had a check mark by their adequate yearly progress that they only tested 93% of their special ed students, and they are on the list. Now, is that a bad school or not? I'd say no, and that's where there's no flexibility currently.
To change gears just a bit, the biggest issue this session is the what to do about the property tax that's just escalating folks right out of their homes. One of the major problems in dealing with the issue is its impact on the schools. You, I know, have followed this issue. Where do you come down on what the legislators are considering?
I think there's a lot of room for discussion on the growth piece because there's new property coming on all the time. So that really wasn't as big an impact as we thought. I think if they froze it at a 6%, our calculations were it affects schools by about 44 million, and that can be addressed by the legislature. I think the biggest issue, and I'm not an expert on that, is the bonding capacity, particularly in Clark County. What effect would that have on their building schools? And they're up for another bond, and there's got to be new schools because they're adding 12 to 15,000 students a year. If it does affect their bond and their building of schools, then that would be a problem.
What are our problems in the Silver State with No Child Left Behind compared to other states?
Our problem is, one is with the high quality teachers. We've had fairly strict licensing requirements. We've tested teachers in basic skills, pedagogy, and subject matter since 1989. One of the requirements in the law says that if you're you must have a clear license in the state you teach in. In Nevada, if we hire 70% of our teachers from out of state and they haven't taken the test we require, we put a provision on their license that says they must take it, meaning they're not highly qualified. If you go to another state that's never required licensing and testing as part of the licensing, and they have a major in their subject area, they're highly qualified. This is at the secondary level. So we're getting penalized in Nevada because we've had stricter requirements, both testing and majors, and other states, because they give that leeway, you're highly qualified.
It's a no-win situation.
You can't win on it, and that's another thing I think that needs to be corrected as far as, we have to report we've got 70% of our teachers highly qualified, and most of those are new teachers we've hired in the last 2 years that have come in from all of 50 states, and we've put testing provisions on their license, even though they've got a bachelor's degree, a major, and before the law they were highly qualified and no problem. They're as good as any teacher in the country. We've got to show them as not highly qualified.
And that's where we've got to leave it. Dr. Keith Rheault, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Pundits after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
It really was a matter of confusion, and I also had the stress on my wife was considerable too, as she ran around talking to the right people and trying to track down resources that would improve my health and make me independent again.
One-stop access for caregivers, NevadaCareConnection.org.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
Oh, you bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
If it's hot, it's here at the Pepper Mill. The Pepper Mill has over 500 of the hottest video theme slots. And with the $100,000 Winter Video Theme Slot Fest, there's no smarter time to play these winning machines. Win your share of the money with $2,000 random cash giveaways every Monday and $5,000 drawings every Friday. And new players can get up to $100 free play.
The slots that rock are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you winning?
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we're joined on the Power Pundit panel today by Dick Gammick, who's our Washoe County District Attorney, Liz MacMenamin, Director of Government Affairs for the Retail Association of Nevada, one of our proud sponsors, and Connie McMullen, publisher of the Senior Spectrum newspaper. A story broke last week in the Las Vegas Sun about Barbara Sagaski, senator from Las Vegas, having a contract with the news director at KVBC Channel 3, which is owned by the same company that owns KRNV up here in Reno. And her job was to consult on news content, including issues going on at the legislature. Your thoughts on this? Let's start with Dick.
I have a tough time with that. There's got to be some real serious revamping down at the legislature, and I saw it really bad during the impeachment trial when senators were talking to defense attorneys, senators were talking to everybody, the media, everybody. And now here she is as a senator within the legislature working for the news media. It goes right back to the same thing I've been preaching for a long time. We need to pay all of them enough money to make a living while they're in session. Then we tell everybody, you don't work. This is your job. We're paying you as the taxpayers. This is what you do. You don't do all this other stuff.
We could be California then. However, I think that this is ridiculous, this story. I'm sorry, Dick, but I really have a problem with the person who broke this story actually works for the competitor down in Las Vegas. And
for KLAS. Right.
For KLAS. And we have a citizen legislature. Come on, we have public employees who are making decisions on their own paychecks. So excuse me, so Senator Sagaski has a job. So what's the big deal about that?
And I feel working for the media, I think it's okay if they provide information as long as they don't lobby or advocate. She's not a lobbyist. She's there, she's a consultant, and as long as she doesn't cross the line, as long as there's no appearance of impropriety, there's nothing wrong with giving information. The minute, though, she crosses the line and gives her opinion or advocates as a lawmaker, then there's that.
But that's the whole issue. There is the appearance. To disagree here a little bit, there is an appearance. Is she giving away inside information on meetings and stuff? Is she giving stuff that's coming up on the, whether she's doing it or not, the questions are there. Is she doing things that she shouldn't be doing, and the potential's there? That's the whole appearance of impropriety.
Absolutely. We all sit in on those. It's supposed to be open meeting law here in the state of Nevada.
Not to the legislature. Well, you better go check on that. They are not subject to the open meeting law.
They are not.
At all.
And I think the competition is just the point that there's an inside edge for one news outlet over the others in the state.
Well, that depends on how hard they're doing their job.
Well, I think this is opens a whole Pandora's box.
Well, you know, I think my point with this is that as long as, you know, and certainly as the host of this program, I have conflicts of interest, and I name them on a regular basis. We have sponsors of the program who appear on the program. We identify who they are. I identify conflicts whenever they occur. When we interview Jim Rogers, who's the Chancellor of the University System, we also point out the fact that he owns KBBC and KRNV and Channel 123, stations that these programs were broadcast on. Senator Sagaski went to the LCB to get a ruling. She also disclosed this several times, which is how this story truly came out, in public. As long as she, you know, she is now in the position where if something occurs, for example, if she were to suddenly change and start supporting Nevada State College, then I might think that there was some undue influence there.
Absolutely.
But at this point, I in a way applaud a television station for trying to get more resources for their legislative coverage.
And if she feels she has too much of a conflict, she should simply abstain from voting.
And she probably will, and that's why she made the disclosure. However, I noticed the gentleman who broke the story did not disclose his employer.
And the fact that, yes, he works for
There was no
KLAS.
disclosure there.
Before you jump off this, let's make sure my one statement was heard.
Okay.
The Nevada State Legislature is not subject to the open meeting law. I hope people understand that. Even though they keep passing it, keep clamping down on all the other public bodies in the state, they are not subject to it.
So does that mean Washoe County's going to come forth with some suggested legislation?
No, why? It's their ball game. What can you do, Connie? It's their call. And floored me the first time I ran into it.
That they should make more money, then they wouldn't feel so compelled to work harder on the outside.
Oh, look how much time has been wasted the last 2 sessions in the legislature over this very issue. Who's employing who and who are they working for? That could all be eliminated if we pay these people the money that they should be making during the legislature. I mean, to go to the legislature, you expect to take a little bit ding on your payroll, but not go bankrupt. Right. They should be paid enough money, the full session. They should be some type of medical coverage for them. And then we just tell them all, none of you work. You belong to the legislature during this term.
I do believe they have medical coverage right now.
No, they do not.
Nothing.
And what level of pay would you suggest?
I'll leave that up to the economists and the money people who do that, the governor's advisors and everyone else, and these commissions they put together to determine what the amount is, but they should be paid for the full session.
Well, John Smith suggests in his column, if you want merit pay for teachers, maybe the legislators should get merit pay also. Only get
or have money deducted
that would be interesting.
Surely not based on how many bills they pass.
No.
And you know, this
quickly,
argument,
just to change gears, a big vote today in the Assembly on the death penalty for kids. How do you feel about that issue, Dick?
Well, I think the Assembly is going to pass it. They've made it pretty clear the last 3 sessions that has happened, but we're still opposed to it. It was a very contentious opinion out of the U.S. Supreme Court, 5-4 split. It's not settled, and we're still against it. And the whole thing, we're not talking children here. We're talking people who have shown that they are absolute, brutal, cold-blooded murderers that happen to be 16 and 17 years old. And again, I get back to it. It's a jury of our peers that make that decision.
And that's where we have to leave it. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
This is one of Sierra Power's main generating plants. It's right next door to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. These plants provide all the clean, reliable power that businesses need. TRI has 3 independent power generation facilities on site. For sensitive manufacturing companies and high-tech firms, this benefit is invaluable. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Coming up tomorrow, George Harris.
See you then.